it is to make delicious giblet gravy for your holiday. Have you ever had it is the question. If you ain't never had it, you're in for a treat. This recipe is so simple, so much fun to make for me, and I love it, and you will too. So here's what you're gonna need. You will need some giblets. It can be the chicken giblets, or it can come from your turkey. When it's Thanksgiving or Christmas, it comes from my turkey, okay? Which will be your gizzards and your livers. Okay, so that's what I have in here, and we'll talk about that. You're gonna need some milk, and if you don't wanna use milk, you wanna make it more richer, you could use a heavy cream, okay? So right here we have some all-purpose flour. We're gonna use some butter. I have a nice sweet cream butter, salted or unsalted. We got celery today. Beautiful bell pepper, a nice sweet Vidalia onion, and some spices to bring everything together. I got some chicken bouillon powder to make it taste good, right? We got some black pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and parsley flakes. Make sure your hands are impeccably clean. Let's get started with this delicious giblet gravy. Gina, and it's the holiday. The day before the holiday, I will chop up all kinds of veggies because I need a ton of veggies for a lot of recipes that I'm making, right? And those vegetables will typically be the celery, the bell pepper and a nice sweet onion, or sometimes just celery and onion. We'll get it nice and sauteed because it's going in the gravy. It's going in the dressing, right? Okay, so now let's go ahead and start on our celery. We're going to chop it up in such a manner. I feel like this is in the way of you guys seeing me. Okay, so wash off your veggies. You all know that. Wash off the pesticides. We're going to break it down in small pieces. Nobody wants to bite down into a big old piece of celery, right? But I want to talk about something along the way. So I turned around, and you boil your giblets until they're fully cooked, until those giblets is nice and tender. They've let off amazing flavor into your water here, and you season it. I seasoned it with salt, pepper, garlic powder, poultry seasoning, right? Put a little bit of chicken bouillon powder in there if you want. And then I put some celery and some onions in there. Okay, and so you're left with this gorgeous broth here, right? You guys can see it. And sometimes if it's not nice and tender and a lot of your water evaporates, add more water. And then you may need to even add more seasoning, because if you're adding more water, you'll always re-season to bring that flavor back. So we're left with this beautiful broth. And this broth has the oil from the meat. It has the flavor that we're looking for a gravy that has a ton of flavor, right? Okay, so one thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get those giblets out, and we're gonna chop them down just like we're doing these veggies. When I have giblet gravy, I want a mouthful of the little pieces of meat that we chop down in every bite. I mean, the gravy is so delicious. I could just get like a little tiny bowl of the gravy by itself and just dunk a yeast roll in it. Oh my goodness, I could. That's how much I love that recipe. So my grandma Seward, my mom's mom, would make giblet gravy every year, and I absolutely love it. It's the only gravy that I make for the holidays. I don't just make a regular gravy, right? It's got to have giblets in it. But I do know that there's some people out there that like to put boiled eggs in their gravy. I have yet to try it. I want to try it, but I'm kind of scared to try it. And it sounds super interesting. I just haven't tried it yet. I'll let y'all know when I decide to try it. So what we're going to do, let's slice up a sweet onion, and we're going to chop it down nice and fine, just like this one, and I'll be back. Cut the onion off camera thinking I was going to cry. It didn't even make me cry, but guaranteed if I would have kept the camera on, I was going to be crying from those onions. That's how they always do me. It never fails. If I'm filming and I'm cutting an onion, I'm a-crying. So we're going to do the same thing with the bell peppers. And this little amount right here, that's the only amount that I'm going to put into our gravy today. So I have a pan over there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get these veggies nice and soft and sauteed. It's going to make for the onions to get even more sweeter, and for the vegetables to soften up just like so. Okay? Beautiful. So let's move this out of the way. We're going to put a little bit of oil in this pan. Get it nice and sauteed up. Now you can see our beautiful gizzards that we have here, and you can see like pieces of onion and celery and bell pepper in there. All that's absolutely amazing, and it's right here in the broth that we're going to be using. Okay, so what we're going to do with this here, we're going to take a little bit of butter. We're going to go ahead and get our veggies nice and sauteed up. Okay, quick and simple. Listen, I hope you're having a great day today, and if you're not, hopefully I can brighten up your day with this delicious recipe. All right, I appreciate you guys, I really do, and I love when y'all message me. Sometimes I don't message you back because I just can't, you know, but I appreciate you guys more than you could ever imagine, and I appreciate YouTube, I really do. All right, so now let's do it. Let's go ahead and break them down in such a manner. I just take them individual, just like this. Gorgeous, and get to chopping, and all that loveliness is going to be right in our gravy, and it's so succulent. Now there are even times, well, I'll take the turkey neck and boil it. Oh yes, take the turkey neck, you know, the day of the holiday or the day before, boil that thing down for a couple hours, get it nice and tender, shred that meat off, and put this into my gravy as well. Okay, so that's a great addition if you didn't want to use the giblets. Okay, so I just want to throw that out there. So I'm going to get this nice and chopped up. I'll be right back. Be right back. So now here's what your meat is going to look like, nice and chopped down. Okay, you don't have to chop it too fine. Okay, right here. Beautiful. How about we give some good flavor to our peppers, our onions, and our celery. And I'm just going to lightly salt and pepper it, okay? When I saute veggies, I like to give them flavor as well. When you're building flavors, you're making good taste. You're making whatever you're making taste good, for real. I grew up the gravy for the holidays, you know, that we had when I was growing up. It always had a light color. A light color because we're using heavy whipping cream. You know, we're putting some heavy whipping cream or either some milk in, and it gives it a light color, which I never mind. And my family wouldn't darken it. So I'm used to making it that way. That's what I'm used to. But I realize that you guys out there, you say, Gina, make it dark. I made it a couple of years ago, and they said, make it dark. So now if you want to make yours dark, you're going to use this. Okay, this is the kitchen bouquet. It's a browning, okay? It's going to help to brown anything you want to make brown. Okay, it's not going to give flavor, but it will make your gravy brown if you want to use the same recipe here and give it some nice color. That's what you're going to use. Rock and roll. Now that our peppers, our onions, and celery is nice and soft, we're going to add almost a whole stick. If you got a whole stick, go ahead, okay? So we're going to get it nice and melted. Once it melts, we're going to put some flour. This is just an all-purpose flour. You use what kind you love. Okay, so when you're making a roux, and that's what we're getting ready to make right now. I didn't take the veggies out. I'm just going to leave them right in there, okay? It'll be okay. We're going to melt the butter. When you make a roux, you use half part fat, which will either be your oil or your butter. In our case, we're using butter, equal parts flour. I'm going to eyeball mine because I know how much. But if you use a half a stick of butter or oil, you're going to use a half a cup of the flour, okay? And really, it's that simple, okay? So once this gets nice and melty, we're going to come right in with our flour. And the key is, once you put that flour in, start stirring it. And at any point, we are never looking for this to look like plaster. If it looks like plaster, you need to add a little bit more oil or butter, okay? I'll show you the perfect consistency. We're going to cook this flour for about 3 to 4 minutes to cook that raw flour taste out. And then we'll begin to start add our beautiful broth that we made. And then we're going to season it. This gravy comes together so quickly, your whole family will love it. All right, we're going to go ahead, put some flour in. Just like this, and the flour should be nice and smooth. It'll be thick, of course it will, but it shouldn't be too thick, right? I'll show you. So right now, let me show you. The roux is coated all over the vegetables since I left the vegetables in. If you wanted to take your veggies out, you can just set them aside and then reincorporate them a little bit later. It's up to you. So, but let me show you the roux. Okay, I did put a tablespoon more of butter because it was kind of thick. Okay, but that's what you're looking for, okay? Perfect. So now that we have that, let's go ahead. We're going to start adding our broth. Once you start adding your broth or whatever liquid you're using, you gotta stir. That's with any gravy that you make, okay? So let's do it. I'm left-handed, so I'm going to pour this with my right hand so I can use my left hand to stir. Okay, start off with a little bit of liquid. Let's move this out the way and stir. And you keep on stirring until eventually you'll begin to see that perfect gravy consistency. You all know what gravy consistency looks like, right? So that's what you're looking for. Right now it's super thick and it's naturally going to happen. We're going to keep on adding our beautiful seasoned liquid until I get exactly what I'm looking for. And right now this heat is on a medium. If you want to turn it down, by all means you can. Keep on stirring till you get what you're looking for. There's big old pieces of onion, right? There's all kinds of goodness in there. Let that go in there too. It's extra flavor. Oh yeah. So here in a minute, we'll begin to put our meat back in, and then we'll taste it, and then we'll season it. Let's show you all how thick it is, how beautiful and silky. And keep in mind that this is the broth from the meat, so it's great flavor already. Okay, so now is your perfect time. Add just some milk or some heavy cream. This makes it holiday rich, nice and rich. Look at this, y'all. Oh, it looks good. Let's add the meat. We're gonna add the meat right now. All of that, yes, that's how my gravy is for the holiday. If you coming over here for the holiday, this is the gravy that you're having. Look at this, guys. Since we done put the meat in. I know I'm gonna say it for you, Gina. That looks so good. It is good. I'm gonna put some parsley flakes because when it's the holiday, you want everything gorgeous, right? It has flavor already, but I'm putting a little bit more. Onion powder, you don't have to worry about it being salty because onion powder and garlic powder ain't salty, right? There we go. We're gonna use a little bit of black pepper. And then here's the thing, we're gonna taste it to see if we need that chicken bouillon powder. Most likely, we're not gonna need it because we already got flavor that was in that broth. Stir it. Oh, yeah. Tiny bit of chicken bouillon, just a little bit. And you see, it's a very little bit. Let's taste, y'all. I'm tasting right now. Heavenly Father, we thank you on today. In the mighty name of Jesus, we thank you. I'm not going in for the meat. I'm going in just to taste the gravy, see how well seasoned it is. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. If you ain't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Tell your family and friends what Gina Young's doing in this kitchen on a daily basis. Look at that. Let's taste. I'm going in this time. I want some meat and veggies. Come on. Are you making this for your holiday? I know, I don't care. At least I didn't double dip. Make you some, y'all. Enjoy your holiday.